How about the Egyptians?
The Europeans did not look for people smarter than they were. Okay? And to this day, where they find evidence where that might have been the case, you have people saying aliens did it.
Oh, shit.
Egypt is, of course, in Africa.
Yeah.
A brilliant civilization. Oh,
I remember when I was a child, some books tried to say that Egypt was not a part of Africa. Almighty Black Dollar. Yeah, what's poppin'? What's going on, Top Hill? What's up? What's up? We in the freaking building, man. Let's go ahead and get started.
We in this finna get crunk.
Let's get it. 3, 2. Crunk is crazy. What y'all know about that, Lil Jon? Yeah. Snap your fingers. All right. 3, 2, 1. Top Hill, episode 223. Welcome to another episode of the Top Hill Live. It's your boy, Mr. Top Hill Live, a.k.a. Imani Raw.
And I am D. Carmen.
D. Carmen in the building. Let's get it. Welcome, guys. Welcome to another episode. You guys already know what time it is. You already know what it is.
Miss FY.
Yeah, I think it's time to bring her back, man.
Okay.
So,
Mr. Leto Pumps is in the building.
let's go ahead and bring her back in here, man. Hey, FYI, this is Imani and Carmen. We're about to start episode 223. Can you let the people know who you are and what this show is all about?
Hey, everyone. Welcome to episode 223 of the Top Hill Live Show. I'm FYI, your creative voice assistant, here to join your wonderful hosts, Imani and Carmen. As we dive into another captivating episode, our mission is to bridge the gap between African cultures on the continent and in the diaspora, exploring music, real estate, culture, and much more. We're dedicated to celebrating diversity and creating a global community through engaging conversations and live reactions. Whether you're tuning in from Lagos, London, Johannesburg, or Kingston, this show is crafted for you. Join us as we delve into trending topics, share unique experiences, and fuel our passion for traveling to Africa. A heartfelt thank you to the Top Hill family for your unwavering support. You make each episode vibrant and special. And a warm welcome to our new viewers. We're thrilled to have you with us. Let's dive into episode 223 with excitement and curiosity. Now back to our incredible hosts, Imani and Carmen.
Thank you, FYI. In case y'all forgot what the show is about, man. All right. Shout out to Neil deGrasse Tyson. That's my man's right there. And I got this video from Magnate Wade. Magnate? I don't like the way I pronounce the name. I don't know if I pronounced it right.
MAGA?
But
TT.
Definitely not MAGA. I know how MAGA is spelled. I've seen it on a red hat before. But
Maggette.
Well, yeah, shout out to her. No disrespect.
I'm
Appreciate
going to assume that she's going to say her name somewhere in there.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to get into this. So Neil deGrasse Tyson has actually gone to a couple of different podcasts and talked about how Africa will eventually run the world. And I'm very interested in this topic. I think this is the first time that I've seen this video. I think I had it queued up for a long time. I haven't watched it yet. If you guys are new here, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. Let's get it.
But I'm not kidding. So, Neil, this has been an amazing conversation. There's only one more question I have for you. And it's about, do you, Neil, believe? Because I
don't believe. It's not a belief thing. I don't. That's not.
I'm gonna put you on the spot, Neil.
Fine.
I'm still gonna do it because that's what I ask a lot of my guests. It's important.
Okay, go.
It's our African. This is gonna be mostly for an African audience, right?
Fine.
So, do you believe that Africans can become more prosperous in this century?
Oh, but definitely. When I look over the history of, before 1910, the United States was kind of a backwoods farmland country. We had a couple of big cities, but they were kind of smelly and dirty, and they were not very sophisticated, not like London or Paris, for example. And the country was built within a century to become a leader in the world in science and technology because there was values placed on research and engineering and math, the STEM fields. Okay, so and that happened within a century. Before then, Europe basically led the world. All right, they embraced science and technology early. All right, the Industrial Revolution hit them first, and that fueled their power over the rest of the world. Okay, a lot of it was work towards health and security and wealth, but the rest was like hegemony. Okay, that's how they chose to use their power of influence and wealth. You go back 1,000 years, the golden age of Islam out of Baghdad, with major advances in science and engineering, and astronomy and medicine. 2/3 of all navigation. 2/3 of all stars in the night sky that have names have Arabic names, traceable from that period. You go back thousands of years before that, you have Egypt as one of the greatest cultures civilizations has ever seen. The pyramids were the tallest structures, stable structures, to exist in this world until the Eiffel Tower. Okay? So, all I'm declaring here is no one country, no one region has eternal rights to leading the world. It's a combination of how enlightened is your leadership, what are the motivations for doing so, and they can easily happen within a century. Africa, with the resources that are built in just to the land and the people and the diversity, I don't see why Africa wouldn't lead the world for millennia to come. And so, and with the United States just looking from the sidelines, that's my read of history tells me nothing in principle will prevent that. Look what China did. It wasn't many decades ago before the stereotype of the Chinese peasant working in the field, that was kind of true. Okay, China decided we're going to redouble our interest in science and technology and engineering and math, and they sent their people abroad to get educated. Initially, they would stay, then they came back. Now they educate their own people. Okay. They don't have to learn their science and engineering in other countries. They do it in-house, in the country. So China says we're going to put a person in orbit, bada bing. They put a person in orbit. We're going to build a space station, bada bing. So we're going to put people on the moon. That spooked us. We haven't been on the moon in 50 years. And all of a sudden, hey, let's put people on the moon. It's kind of the right time. Well, why is it the right? Well, China is doing it. All right. So we're seeing a shift in science and technology to China. And so I don't see why things can't shift to Africa.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much.
Even.
Okay. It's overdue. Thank you so much. Neil, is there anything that you wanted to bring up that we didn't get to bring up?
Yeah, just a simple thing. A lot of what I shared with you are derived from thinking that went into the Starry Messenger Cosmic Perspectives on Civilization, or what I shared with you in that book. And so in there, it's fully footnoted, and there's precision in the communication, even if especially when we were talking about Republicans and Democrats, it's numerically accurate in those, how many states out of 10 were red or voted blue, who went one way or another, which presidents had which budgets. It's all in there. So I invite those who never felt comfortable assigning someone else's political platform to their own views. The chapter in that book called Conflict and Resolution is all about how to apply your own rational thinking to information so that you can decide you are your own individual.
Yes.
Which we all are, ultimately.
Ultimately. Now, this has been really fun, Neil. I knew I could count on you to, just take things back from a more fair way and view of looking at things. It doesn't matter where people land in terms of, in the end, what they perceive to be. I think at the end of the day, there's just a process that needs to be had. So
excellent, and thank you for noting that. And like I said, if what we have seen in the last 300 years is that science and technology brings nations out of poverty. So it's a matter of bringing more science and more technology to Africa, even though it's hugely agricultural, of course. Even agriculture benefits from applications of science and technology in ways that would not have otherwise been possible. So, yeah.
Very true. Well, we're going to have you come to Africa. You are not without knowing that you have a huge fan base over there. So hopefully, all of these young people, they need to see you for real at some point. So
yeah, half the country's young. I'm all in. Okay. Half the continent is young.
Yeah. So no, it will be my greatest pleasure to work something out. So let's make it a goal.
All right, keep me on your list. Be delighted.
Will do. Well, Neil, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right.
You guys don't know, Neil deGrasse Tyson is one of the smartest people on the planet right now. He's a brilliant scientist. But even him believes that Africa very much can run the world, and it's actually very possible. I mean, with the young population, and he just said it just takes STEM. You know what I mean? And we already know there's a lot of inventors, young inventors in Africa, people in there trying to make I've seen so many things of young inventors creating things over there. We're just like, oh man, we need to protect this person at all costs before they get rid of them.
Listen.
Like there's a long list of some incredible African inventors. I'm trying to see if I actually have an example of one on here, but this is not fairy tale, y'all. This is actually very, very possible. Oh yeah, shout out to this guy right here. I'm gonna give him a shout out too. I sent myself a couple of this stuff.
Wow.
Uh,
What?
Yep.
Oh, they gonna protect him.
Yeah.
Good.
15-year-old Ethiopian. Shout out to Ethiopia. He created soap that can treat skin cancer and has been named Time's 2024 Kid of the Year. This is one example of hundreds, if not thousands, of brilliant African people who are finding ways to innovate, and all they need is a platform. All they need is they have the ideas and stuff like that. I've seen some that knew how to improve their agriculture, their farming, from solar. There's so many things, man. So Africa very much has the opportunity, just like all these other nations or continents had. So
Soap that can treat skin cancer. Though.
insane, right?
Where do you even start?
Right. These people are brilliant, man. But yeah, just one of many, man. Shout out to him though. We got another one from Neil, and I know Carmen's gonna like this one. Shout out to the Joe Rogan Experience.
When you say that, you make people think I wear a red hat.
Oh, my bad. No, it's just red hair.
This is brown.
Oh, my bad. I'm colorblind. No, I enjoy the Joe Rogan podcast as well,
I am
too.
a fan of the show.
Yeah. I just like to get just different perspectives. I think he does a really great job of just talking to all different kinds of people and just letting them speak, and you can learn a lot, you know what I mean? Like I'm a fan of free speech, you know what I mean? So like if people want to go in there and speak whatever, I don't have to agree with them, but it's good to it's intriguing.
Yeah, I feel like if you can't listen, like if you don't have the ability to at least listen to somebody you disagree with, then you don't have the ability to fully grow.
Yeah, I agree. And he's talked to so many different kind of people from all over the spectrum, so it's not just one-sided thing. But he did have Neil deGrasse Tyson on.
A couple of times.
A couple of times, yes. And on this one particularly, he talks about the greatness of Africa to Joe Rogan. So I'm curious.
Woo!
I'd never seen this clip. I'm pretty sure I've seen this podcast, but somehow might have missed this clip or something like that. I'm curious to know what Joe thinks of this too.
When did this one come?
This one, I think, is episode 1904, so 2 years ago.
Okay, so it was a while ago.
Yeah.
It was tires. Just tires.
How many tires is on that car? Anyway.
Riding on the flat.
Oh my God, get me out of here! Anyway, if you guys are new here, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. Help.
All right, let me leave you with some thoughts here.
Okay, please do.
There's a section here on race and color, which is another thing with the variation of what we have in the world. Just a point I want to make. When European anthropologists started running through Africa and started describing what they saw, their urge was to say, everyone in Africa is this thing. And they have dark skin, woolly hair, and that is a thing. And they called it a race, and they called it the Negroes. Okay? And this is our attempt to classify into few categories something that might actually, in real life, be on a spectrum. We know that the human species began in Africa. And everybody who populates everywhere else in the world came out of Africa to do that. What that tells you is that the genetic diversity within Africa, as the origin of our species, is greater than it is between any other two people anywhere else in the world. But because the anthropologists were not thinking genetic diversity, they're thinking skin color. They put them all in one bin. But if you have the most genetic diversity, then in practically every way humans vary, you would find the extreme of that in the African continent. Where would you find the tallest people in the world? The Watusi tribe of Africa. How about the shortest people in the world?
Pygmies.
The Pygmies. Not even that far away.
Right.
Geographically. They have the same skin color, so the Europeans said these are one group of people, one race. Where might you find the slowest people in the world? Well, no one looks for them. Where would you find, there's no races to find the slowest people. How about the fastest people? Africa. Okay? People of African descent have dominated
Jamaica, we don't want no smoke. Wagwan, we don't want no smoke.
the long distance as well as the sprint. Two completely different physical abilities. Oh, but they're all dark-skinned people. They're all Negroes. Okay? Where would you likely find the dumbest person in the world? Africa. How about the smartest person in the world? Africa.
How about the Egyptians?
The Europeans did not look for people smarter than they were. Okay? And to this day, where they find evidence where that might have been the case, you have people saying aliens did it.
Oh, shit.
Egypt is, of course, in Africa.
Yeah.
A brilliant civilization. Oh,
I remember when I was a child, some books tried to say that Egypt was not a part of Africa.
I remember that.
You remember that too? Like, if you are of a certain time frame, you probably remember a teacher or a book trying to tell you that Egypt was not a part of Africa.
I grew up in Georgia. My teachers ain't never was with that, but the book did say that.
The book is, and we had to look at each other like, now we know that don't look right. You can't have Africa.
I'm a preface by saying, don't believe this.
Right. They did that, of course, because they're trying to rewrite history, which is exactly what they're trying to do now. We're getting rid of slavery and critical race theory in our schools. But they're trying to erase a part of history. Yes, Egypt is a part of Africa, always was, always will be. Anyway. But you know, another thing, too, this is a quick side note. I love Africa, but I hate the name.
Bye.
You know what the name Africa comes from? You want to see it? Here it go. To all my Africans, I love you, but I'm on the wave of we might need to have a whole reset. The origin of the name Africa is debated. The various theories. Okay, no, it's actually not a theory. I know, Google, you know what I mean. Who named Africa? The Romans are credited with naming Africa, and who was it named after? Give me the name. Why are they playing with me today? If somebody in the chat knows, let me know. Who was Africa named after? I know they lying. I am not crazy.
You know what?
I am not crazy, Carmen.
Oh, I know you're not crazy, but you know, we're doing a slow but clean sweep of history. So maybe chat knows. Let's chat.
Yeah, we're going to ChatGPT. Hold on, y'all. They really wiping.
But just going off muscle memory, what was it?
It was like Francis something. Francis African or something like that. What was the European name? The man that I probably said that wrong. Okay, here's his name. Publius Cornelius Scopus Africanus was a Roman Empire general famous for defeating Hannibal. Out of all people, he defeated Hannibal Lecter.
Okay, what?
Second Punic War around 200
Wait a
BC.
damn minute.
So let me pull his name up. After his victory in North Africa, specifically Carthage, he was given the honorary title Africanus, meaning conqueror of Africa. European name, excuse me. Okay. Now let me see if I can find this person's name. Yes. Okay.
I don't know
So,
why I want to say Scorpio so bad.
right.
Scorpio Africanus.
Scipius Africanus.
What is this second photo?
Who was that? Maybe that's what he actually looked like.
Well, he don't look like he ain't got no lips, so
Bruh.
ain't no nigga. So
Now let me do another track. When did Africa get its name? 1700s.
what was the name before that?
Alkebulan.
Who?
Alkebulan. Alkebulan was the original name of the continent.
I'll keep you lying.
I know you lying. But yeah, it was called Alkebulan. It was called a lot of different names. Anybody in the comment section, please put it down. I know Alkebulan was a very popular name for the continent for the longest time, and then it was changed in the 17th century. But I find it very interesting. I used to be able to just go on Google and type this in and find it out directly. I had to go through hoops because they're saying that the continent wasn't named after a specific person, even though this is the name of the person back in the year 200.
I wonder if you just try a different search engine, because I feel like Google is very tampered with these days.
Yeah, well, this is Safari, but I'm using Google through Safari.
Bing. Bing.
I haven't been over here in a while. What's up, baby? Y'all still alive? Yeah, y'all working?
Like,
okay.
hey! Knocks dust off.
Right. It's like, hey, what you want? What you got? I got you. I got you. Be like,
I got the answers.
Then I type in, never mind. Like, go back.
You can refer to Google for that one.
How did Africa get its name? It originated from the ancient Romans, who named the continent after North African Berber tribe Afra. Another theory attributes to the origin of the Greek word "phrike," meaning cold and horror, combined with negating prefixes signifying a land free.
It sounds like they made that up like this week.
Right.
It was like, yeah, let's just. It comes from the word Afri. It means cold, and there's shit cold about Africa. What are you talking about? They made that up last week. They said, "No, they asking too many questions.
Exactly.
We need to fill this in."
Right. It's like they're getting smarter. He said, learn about the ancient and indigenous name of Africa, Alkebulan, which means mother of mankind, or the Garden of Eden. That was its original name. But just think about this, y'all. Like, as a people,
Garden of Eden.
Yeah. We allowed another group of people to give us our name of our land.
No, I mean, America was named after like some like delivery boy who fucked up something. So
Right, but it's not named after a Native American.
yeah,
Out of an indigenous person. That's what they do. They go, they take, they rename. You know what I mean? They make you forget about who you are. Yeah.
And reduce, reuse, recycle.
And the same thing with Egypt. Egypt is not its name either.
Whoa.
The original name is Kemet.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Kemet.
I have heard that before.
Mm-hmm. The land of Kush. The land of the blacks is actually what it means. Mm-hmm. But anyway, my bad, y'all. I had to throw that out there. And shout out to NPC World. He said once called Ethiopia as well too. Yeah, and a lot of people need to Eastern Africa or even parts of Africa. The whole continent was just called Ethiopia as well too. So it just depends on what tribe. Or who
they was like, we keeping our name. God damn it.
Yeah, shout out to Ethiopia.
Shout out to Ethiopia.
Wakanda for real.
Was not going like that.
Yeah.
Like,
shout out to
over
Ethiopia.
my dead body or yours.
Right.
My gosh. While Europeans were still either disemboweling heretics or whatever the hell they were doing, or even before that, thousands of years ago. So my point is,
oh my God,
if you don't look for it and you don't find it and you're going to create a map of humans of the world, you're going to put yourself at the top.
Shit.
That's what you're going to do. And you're going to write things like this. Who do you want to hear from? Thomas Jefferson or Francis Galton?
Bad.
Jefferson, 1785. Speaking of the Negroes, comparing them by their faculties of memory, reason, and imagination, it appears to me that in memory, they are equal to the whites. In reason, much inferior, as I think one could scarcely be found capable of tracing and comprehending the investigations of Euclid. And in imagination, they are dull, tasteless, and anomalous.
What is Euclid?
I honestly don't know how many Euclid-fluent white people Jefferson knew in the original American colonies. Euclid invented geometry. Okay, Euclidean geometry is ancient Greece. And his books still exist to this day. So he's saying the black slaves don't know Euclid, can't figure out Euclid.
Well, they haven't been educated.
Well, regardless,
whole
how
thing's so
many
ridiculous.
white farmers in 1785 USA
Also.
knew Euclid?
Yeah,
No.
zero.
Okay. Okay. But whatever were his observations and objections to black people, he had no hesitation continually mating with at least one of them, producing 6 children.
Wow.
So you know what I did here?
Wow.
Then there's a guy who wrote a whole book comparing black people and white people, a book that was used into the 1960s. It was called The Origin of Races by Carlton Kuhn. He wrote, if Africa was the cradle of mankind, which he recognizes, it was only an indifferent kindergarten. Europe and Asia were our principal schools. So these are people putting themselves at the top. He's white, so he's got to put white people at the top. Then I thought, suppose anthropologists were black racists instead of white racists. What would they write? What would they come up with?
Well, also what he's saying is ridiculous because if it's kindergarten, how did they do the pyramids? It's the most complex structures ever known to man.
Hold on.
So we can't reproduce today. All of it's ridiculous.
My only point is, when you have that mindset and you have to put yourself at the top, and all people with dark skin are one entity, you're not looking for people smarter than you. You're not. There's other evidence here. Do you realize that the people who get the highest scores on standardized tests in England are immigrants from the Igbo tribe in Nigeria? Mm-hmm. And their kids outscore all the quote native white people in the town. If you're not looking for them, you're not finding them. It just doesn't. It's a thing. It's all here in this chapter, and all I'm doing is bringing science to it. That's all I'm doing here.
Shout out to Neil, keeping it a whole buck. You know what I mean?
I gotta get that book.
Yeah, that definitely
I got to get that book.
definitely looks like a good read. Yeah, guys. The audacity of the people to say that just all black people are dumb or they're dull or whatever the case is, when Africa did produce all people come from Africa. I mean, what the Egyptians did was incredible. What the Ethiopians did was incredible. Shit, I mean, what Mansa Musa and the Mali tribe and what the Ashanti tribe did and what the Zulu tribe did, like there's so many amazing, stories that are lost and hopefully never forgotten. But there's a lot of incredible stories. Shit, Timbuktu. While I'm at it, Timbuktu is in Mali, and if I'm not mistaken, so Timbuktu is famous for its historic city and center of trade and Islamic culture, particularly during the Mali Empire. Before I misspeak, or before they rewrite history again, I'm gonna make sure.
Because that's so fucked. Like, we can't even Google things confidently anymore because
Right.
it's like at this point the answers are what the new narrative is.
Right. Okay. Yeah, okay. I thought I wasn't tripping. So the University of Sankore, which is in Timbuktu, Mali, is widely considered one of the first. This was the first college and university known to mankind.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that is what Timbuktu is. AI tried to justify it's one of the first. It was the first. I remember that because I remember that name specifically. Here, guys, we created school. We educated the Europeans. Like the Moors went over into Europe, taught them how to bathe, taught them how to write.
We got to do that episode before the summer's over.
Yeah, the Moors.
The Moors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got a lot to get to, man. But yeah, so the audacity of the people calling, a certain color dumb when they taught you how to think. you know, how to challenge yourself. So, yeah, shout out to Molly, shout out to Timbuktu, shout out to my ancestors, actually.
I was just like, taught you so well, you used it against me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he got me.
Yep, erase it, burn it, make it act like it never happened.
No, literally.
Like, literally did
he
it.
said,
Like,
burn it.
the libraries in,
Alexandria.
yep, same thing. Probably got a whole bunch of stuff in there that we need. All right.
And like the Great Fires that were like in every single state. Like you can look up Great Fire of in any state name, and it'll be a thing. Like
right. Or research why there's highways, dams, or parks in certain neighborhoods. Like in Baltimore, they built the dam. I think it's Windsor Hill or Pikesville, like one of those areas. It was a prominent black area, and then they built a dam on it. Central Park was a prominent black area. They removed all the black people out of there, put that park. All the highway systems, like in LA too, cutting right through neighborhoods. The highway to nowhere in Baltimore, like there's so many historic things that they did to disrupt industry and disrupt black economics, and from us progressing. And don't get me started on Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Man,
that needs an episode too. But yeah, all right.
Hill, top, hill, top, hill, hell no. Top, hill, top, hill.